Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhu Pada, Jaya Prabhu Pada, Prabhu Pada, Jaya Prabhu Pada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखानितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्तकांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So where were we last Sunday? Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, chapter number 5, verse number 14. We finished 14. Okay. So we're starting with 15. So this section of verses from this section uh, is verses 8 to 22. They are prima facie Narada's instructions or Narada's diagnosis of why um, Vyasdev is disappointed. Okay, why he is not happy, and Narada is giving an analysis of after writing so many scriptures and the Puranas, Itihas, dividing one Veda into four, so many other things. Still, Vyasdev is not feeling happy. So in this section we were reading where Narada is giving his own analysis of or his own diagnosis of the situation, and then we saw verse by verse different situations that Narada is coming up. Do you remember anything from last Sunday? Yes, Prabhu. Okay. When 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 Narad Muni comes to meet Vyasdev, Ved Vyas glorifies him. So he being a spiritual master, he glorifies him. Okay. So whenever we meet our spiritual master or an authority, we can also glorify them. Okay. Yeah, we should have full faith in the words of the spiritual master. Outside world is driven by self confidence, but spiritual life is driven by confidence in the words of the spiritual master and the scriptures. That's the difference. If there is no confidence in the guru, then spiritual life is not, in the sense, it's a vacuum because we don't have any faith in the words of the guru. Okay, very good point. What else? Yeah. Okay, we should accept bona fide spiritual master. Sorry? Yeah, never try to cheat the spiritual master or think that the spiritual master is innocent in his dealings with us. So we will try and convince him to say something that we want to hear. In, okay? कुछ कह रहे थे? कहाँ से आवाज आ रहा है? देख ही नहीं रहा हूँ यहाँ पे. Yeah, spiritual master has the ability to. A genuine spiritual master has the ability to scan you. A genuine spiritual master has the ability to scan you. Okay. The root cause of Vyasdev's despondency was that he did not glorify the Supreme Lord. Okay. Okay. Sure. Hmm. Okay. Very good. Yeah, we saw the secret to 3 steps to success is we admit our dissatisfaction, we admit the failure in detecting the cause, why am I dissatisfied, and then we take shelter of the one who is satisfied. And then we saw that even Arjuna had a similar scenario. Arjuna also was dissatisfied, was frustrated as to why am he says na why am I here? मतलब मैं यहाँ आया ही क्यों लड़ने के लिए? Because, and then he says that I'm confused. I'm not able to figure out the cause of the dissatisfaction. And then he takes shelter of somebody who's fully satisfied. Atma Ram is the Supreme Lord. So he takes shelter of Krishna. Okay. What else? Yeah. Yes. Mhm. We recited a beautiful verse from the 12th canto, which says that how it's Amalam Puranam, spotless Puran. It doesn't get old, and it is the most dear to the Vaishnavas. So, um, yeah, I give example of Akbar and Tansin also. So, there was one more thing that what do I recollect? I was mentioning about Akshay Tritiya last time. So I was mentioning that as well. That how uh, there are there are there are three things where you know one was where the glories of the Lord are not being sung, right? जहाँ पे भगवान के गुणगान नहीं गाए जाते. Second is where the devotees who hear the glories of the Lord are not present. And the fourth is, and third is that where the festivals are not celebrated. Such a place is not worth living. Such a place is not worth living. So there was something similar in this context also, that uh, there was no glorification. Like even the 12th canto, the verse was similar, where uh, there was no glorification of the Lord, because Bhagavatam indirectly glorifies Krishna and his devotees, and Vaishnavas also take pleasure in that only. So yeah, what else? Yes. So we gave some references from different scriptures. One was Ganapati Skanda, one was Padma Puran, Shiv Puran. We saw some references, and those references gave proof that how Krishna is the supreme personality of God, and one should worship. So Ganesha is speaking to Parshuram in that, and he's saying that Golok, beyond Vaikuntha, 50 yojanas is Golok Vrindavan. 50 yojanas ahead of Vaikuntha is Golok Vrindavan, and that's the eternal residence, and that's the place where Krishna lives, and Krishna, and he glorifies Krishna. Yeah. So that was a reference. So the proof was that our Goswamis, our Acharyas, they have compiled the essence of all the scriptures and brought it to one place. That is why it is mentioned Nana Shastra Vicharan Samstapako. So our Acharyas in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, they have taken the essence from different places, and they have given us a compilation focused on those which are glorifying the Supreme Lord. You know. Otherwise, Narada is telling Vyasa, see, this is such a big, you know, uh, Ganpati Skanda, glorification of Ganpati, but in that one verse, Ganpati is glorifying Krishna. So that is completely lost, because it is a big ocean. Like uh, Skanda Puran, I was mentioning that how many verses? 80,000 verses. So 80,000 verses पढ़ने के लिए पूरा lifetime चल जाएगा. 18,000 नहीं हो पाता हमारे से. So uh, that's how he was mentioning that instead of guiding the common masses, you have kind of misled them. Okay. Anything else? Hmm. So what do we need to read? Yeah, so we need to read Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, yeah. Puranas contain the only Srimad Bhagavatam contains the message which is beyond the state of body and mind. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Crows. So be careful now. Wherever there is no glorification of the Lord, don't go there. Make sure सारे just think सारे कौवे बैठे हुए हैं, सिर्फ का कर रहे हैं. इसका मतलब ये है कि हमें भक्तों के बाहर की असेंबली में आपको सिर्फ कौवे ही मिलेंगे. Is that correct or right or wrong? So that is why we have made there is a place like temple, there is a place like base, where there is glorification of the Lord, where you hear about the Lord. Sarvabhauma Prabhu says that any place is Vaikuntha where these four things happen. One is where you hear the glories of the Lord, Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramayana. Another is where the Kirtan happens. Third is where there is a altar and fourth is where you offer bhoga. That's Vaikunta. So you have a chance. You all have a chance to come and stay in the base, come and be with the devotees, then staying in a place where crows exist. Yeah. Yeah. Jnana karmadi anavritam is not what we are focusing on, but we are focusing on Vasudevam Sarvamiti. It should culminate us uh, towards this understanding that yes, our service is towards Vasudev, and we have to approach him. Goal is that. Okay. Huh. Puranas, like I mentioned this, Puranas or other scriptures, they keep you in the material world. But even if you read other scriptures, they will tell you very nicely how to remain in this material world. But Bhagavatam is something that takes you from the material world to the spiritual world. Okay, nice. अच्छा है. आप लोगों ने मेरा अच्छा recap कर लिया. I had completely forgotten whatever I had spoken. Yes. Anything else? I hope and to see that some more people can also raise their hands, especially those who come regularly, uh, rather than just a specific bunch of people responding. You know, so it'll be nice if others can also take take back something from the session, that you can remember, jot down some few points, because you may jot down one point and if somebody else has spoken that, then you will not have anything else to say. It is not to make me remind of the last Sunday's class. It is more to uh, carry it on for the week, for the remaining week. Otherwise, like Sunday is technically the first day of the week. You know or not? Sunday is the first day of the week. पता है नहीं? हाँ? Now you believe me what? मैं थोड़ी ना बनाता हूँ week. Technically Sunday is the first day of the week. Saturday को week end हो जाता है. संडे से वीक चालू होता है ना, मंडे से चालू नहीं होता है वो. मंडे को हम काम पे जाते हैं इसलिए हमें ऐसा लगता है. So weekend, हाँ, तो Sunday is technically the first day of the week. So the first day of the week when you come and hear some spiritual subject matter, it is for you to take it for the rest of the week. Keep it with you. Not that, fine, we forget it by the next week. So it's very important. Okay, so I will speak something more, we will discuss something more. There were some few verses remaining. As I mentioned, that till 22nd verse, Narada speaks, or Narada gives advice to Vyasdev. He gives his diagnosis to Vyasdev as to uh, what is the mistake or what is the deficiency that he did, due to which he was feeling this despondency. So I will cover these verses till 22nd, and then we will speak on glories of Mother Sita, because Sita Nami is coming up on Tuesday. So we'll speak something from on Mother Sita as well. Yeah, the Ramayan flavor is still on, so we'll speak something on that as well. Okay, so let's come to the 15th verse. All these verses are very important actually. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You may spend more time. They are like detailed purports, and many things are mentioned in these verses. So the 15th verse generally it's mentioned over here that the people in general are naturally inclined to enjoy, and you have encouraged them in that in the name of religion. So 15th verse speaks about that. The translation says the people in general are naturally inclined to enjoy, and you have encouraged them in that way in the name of religion. This is verily condemned and is quite unreasonable, because they are guided under your instructions. They will accept such activities in the name of religion and will hardly care for prohibitions. This is a translation. So Vyasdev is directly. So I was hearing, and it was mentioned that 15th verse is like a conservative verse, and the 16th verse is like a liberal verse. It speaks more openly. You know, if we come to the 16th verse translation, it mentions the Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality retired from the activities of material happiness deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. Therefore, those who are not so well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness through descriptions of transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. So, this is more of a liberal one, whereas that is more of a conservative. It is very to the point. It is not deviating from the subject matter. If you come to the purport, it is mentioned. Are you there on the purport? काफी लोग मुझे देख रहे हैं, मुझे देख के मेरे चेहरे पे परपट नहीं आएगा, बट it's highly recommended to carry a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam first canto with you while you are coming for these sessions, because that is the only way you can be in the class and not off the class. Otherwise, your body will be here, but your mind will be somewhere else. And this is what I read right now. The people in general are naturally inclined to enjoy, and you have encouraged them in that way in the name of religion. मतलब आपने misguide कर दिया है. This is verily condemned and is quite unreasonable, because they are guided under your instructions. They will accept such activities in the name of religion and will hardly care for prohibitions. So on your name, people will just enjoy because you have mentioned it over here, and they'll take it as in the name of religion. This human life, if you can come to the line which is on the fourth one, mentions this human form of life is a chance to get out of the clutches of illusory matter. The Vedas are meant for going back to God and going back home. To revolve in the cycle of transmigration in a series of lives numbering 84 lakh species is an imprisoned life for the condemned conditioned souls. Like yesterday, I was hearing His Grace Ramaru Prabhu in the evening, and he was mentioning that जनरली हमारे भौतिक संसार में अगर हमें किसी को कुछ गाली देनी हो, बैड वर्ड यूज करना हो, तो हम अलग अलग वर्ड्स यूज करते हैं ना. यू ऑल नो इट मच बेटर. सो बट अगर देवी देवताओं को गाली देना हो, तो मतलब बोलते जा मानव, मानव बोल देते मानव, तू मानव. Okay, why? Because one has to take birth again for 9 months in the womb. And if they have to abuse, they'll say, go take a birth in the womb of a mother, you know, because that is a very miserable state. Hey, Manav, I say, that is like that. It's a very miserable state. Being 9 months in the womb of a mother. हम लोग बोलेंगे यार इसमें miserable क्या है? You be here for 9 hours. We'll meet again at 9 p.m. You will understand. You can pass stool, urine, eat food in the same hall. That's what we do in the womb. We don't realize that because when we come out, we forget. We get so much of love from everyone. When we come out, that we forget that how. That is why it is temporary, no? All the material happiness and pleasure and everything. Dukh, sukh और दुख दोनों शीतोषणा है. It is not permanent. It is temporary. So 9 months in the womb of the mother also we quickly forget because we get so much of love when we come out. Everybody wants to carry us and move around, and we feel wow, we are not on the ground, but we are off the ground. We are in the air. So that's why over here it's mentioned that to revolve in a cycle of transmigration is a series in a series of lives numbering 84 lakh species, an imprisoned life, imprisoned for the condemned conditioned souls, imprisoned. So it is not just about going to an Arthur Road jail or a Yerwada jail. It is already that we are imprisoned in this material body, you know, covered with blood, mucus, pus, urine. We are already imprisoned. Coming little ahead, it mentions that mm, in the Vedas, that paragraph beginning, in the Vedas, it is distinctly said that the perfection of life is never to be attained either by voluminous work or by accumulation of wealth or even by increasing the population. In the Vedas, it is distinctively said that the perfection of life is never to be attained either by voluminous work or by accumulation of wealth or even by increasing population, but it is so attained only by renunciation. It's only by tyaga, not by anything else. Going ahead, I'm just reading some things that I have highlighted while I was personally reading. So coming to the this paragraph, but over here, but men with materialistic tendencies are more attracted to politics, economies, philanthropic activities mentioned in the Mahabharata than to principal topic, namely the. Yeah, so men with materialistic tendencies are more attached to politics, economics. अगर मैं आपको पूछूं कि अभी लास्ट लेटेस्ट अपडेट क्या है, you know, what is the latest update for India versus Pakistan? Many of you all will have an answer to it because we are interested in knowing what is happening geopolitically. Who said what was the latest post on Twitter? People know about it because that is our tendency. If I tell you, please tell me the words that I recited last Sunday, you know, from the Shrimad Bhagavatam, which mentions that which is a place not worth a living, that hardly people would remember. You know, and hardly people would remember. I mentioned that it was actually a beautiful verse. You can recite this again. Can you attend this call, please? You can ask. एक ड्राइवर है उसको पूछो क्या प्रॉब्लम है बताओ. Yeah, you can recite after me if you can remember. Na yatra vaikunta katha sudapaga na sadhavo bhagvatastadashraya na sadhavo bhagvatat तदाश्रया ना यत्र यज्ञेश मखा महोत्सवा सुरेश लोकोऽपि न वै सा सेवतम्. You spoke to him? है ना, मैं भी चलाऊं, देखता हूँ शाम को. वो दिया ना आपने? So it was 5/19/24. I'm not wrong here. 1924. Yeah. Na yatra vaikunta katha sudapaga na sadhvo bhagavatas na yatra yagnesha makha mahotsava suresh lokapi na vai Sevyatam. Suresha Loko means even if you go in the heavenly planets, if you don't find these three things, where there is the Katha of the Lord, where there is Bhagavatas Ashraya, there is uh, Ashraya of the devotees of the Lord, and when there is no Makha Mahotsava, where there is no festival, then their place is not worth living. The place is not worth living. Actually, it is such a touching verse that one should always try and meditate upon this. That am I able to find this somewhere or not? So coming back to what we were reading, yeah, that we should be away from such kind of a tendency. Many times because we have smartphones. Earlier newspapers were much better. You would just spend newspaper half an hour or 1 hour, half an hour max. And then the newspaper would always be in a corner. But now because of the smartphones, you have news which is coming up every hour, updating, and that's like a never-ending thing. So automatically our mind also gets pulled toward these things. So to be away from these things, we can always focus on topics from the Bhagavad Gita, from the Srimad Bhagavatam, from Ramayana, from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which keeps us more on the goal towards Krishna. Okay. So coming to the 16th verse, Sri Prabhupada mentions in the purport that he says, the Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality, retired from activities of material happiness. That means he is not enamored by material happiness, deserves to understand this knowledge of the spiritual values. Therefore, those who are not well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness through descriptions of transcendental activity. So, over here, it is saying, Narada is saying that you should try to dovetail people according to their own level of understanding. Like when Srila Prabhupada went to the US, he opened the Fate Museum, which is the first Asian transcendental exhibit where dioramas were made. अगर आप देखेंगे हमारे मंदिर में भी डायरोमास है, राइट? और अगर आप देखेंगे तो बहुत सारे इस्कॉन के टेम्पल्स में डायरोमास है. So he engaged different disciples of his. He engaged different disciples of his in different skill sets. Like Shyam Sundar Prabhu was a carpenter, so he engaged him in making altar of the Lord. He told Hayagriva Prabhu, he was an editor. He told him you can edit, you can help me in editing. Jayanand Prabhu, he told him that we can make wonderful rathas of the Lord and have Jagannath Rath Yatra like the way it happens in India, it can happen in America. Tamal Krishna Maharaj was a very dynamic personality, so he sent him with huge greyhound buses all over America and Europe for preaching. There was Yadurani Mataji who made different paintings of the Lord. So like that he engaged his disciples in various things according to their level. So here also is the same thing. Therefore, those who are not well situated due to material attachment should be shown ways of transcendental relation by your goodness through descriptions of transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. You like he's saying that you can present Krishna consciousness. Don't make it a very dry subject matter. You can present it colorfully also. Like you can have dramas, you can have kirtans, you can have exhibits. So you can present it colorfully also. You don't need to, really make it dry subject matter. So that is what even Narada is telling Vyasdev that in the Vedas it has become so slow that people have lost the context of it. Okay, so you don't change the subject from Krishna to something else. You keep the subject as Krishna, but it can be presented in different ways. There can be wonderful paintings. Like the way when we go for the parikrama in our Jew temple, I many times have many guests who come. I show them the temple around, and I take them in the parikrama also. So it's a very good way of engaging them when showing them different paintings, that how the Lord performed these beautiful pastimes. If you just complete the entire parikrama, पूरा कृष्ण book खत्म हो सकता है almost. You know, इतना इतने सारे paintings हैं and they are so really captivating. And they're actually hand paintings. When people get to know that these are hand paintings, 1977, 78, 76, the name of the painter is mentioned, the date is mentioned. It is so touching. So that is exhibiting. The subject matter remains the same, but it is more engaging. It is more engaging. Okay, so that's why over here is coming to the point directly. He's saying that you over here is saying Shri Vyasadev. So Vyasadev described Vyasadev therefore advised by Narada to describe the science of God directly by relating his transcendental activities. Matlab, don't deviate, don't go here and there. Directly come to the point. Okay, and then he's also saying the expert devotees also can discover novel ways and means to convert the non-devotees in terms of particular time and circumstances. So the expert devotees, like he's giving the example, like the way Srila Prabhupada did. Srila Prabhupada engaged, he really came out with novel ways to, uh, convert non-devotees according to their time, place, and circumstances. He knew that he was dealing with this. Just imagine, Srila Prabhupada was 70-year-old and he was dealing with boys and girls who were 16 and 17 years old. There's a gap, and there is a gap even in the country, the culture from where they come, two different cultures. So there was immense amount of gap, but still he had novel ways to engage them. He gave each one of them a special task which they took it for their life to do it. Like Jayanand Prabhu, till the time he left his body, he would prepare ruts. Kamal Krishna Maharaj, for a very long time, was leading bus parties all over the world. Yadurani Mataji, for a very long time, after even making all the paintings, would design another more paintings as well. So he engaged them in services in such a way which were uh, left, which were meant for life. They were not temporary. So if you take the story of yeah, so that's how. So devotional service is a dynamic activity, and the expert devotees can find out competent means to inject it into dull brains of materialistic population. So Srila Prabhupada, when he used to give lectures in the beginning in 26 Second Avenue, he used to keep a jar next to him. And that jar and the hippies, the young boys and girls, they would not understand what Swamiji would speak, because he would have a heavy Bengali accent, and English. So hardly they would understand anything. But they knew that at the end of the class, Swamiji will take out one juicy ball from this jar and give it in our hand. And for that, they would come. And there was actually a gulab jamun. It's just a gulab jamun. That's how. So it was, so Prabhupada uh, had expect, we see, it's mentioned here, devotion service is dynamic activity. And the expert devotees can find out competent means to inject it into dull brains of materialistic population. Such transcendental activities of devotees for the service of the Lord can bring a new order of life to the foolish materialistic society. Lord Sri Chaitanya, yeah, Mahaprabhu and his subsequent followers exhibited expert dexterity in this connection. By following the same method, one can bring the materialistic men of this age of quarrel into order for peaceful life and transcendental realization. So, this was very nicely depicted. If you read the Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrita, especially when Prabhupada founded ISKCON in 1966, and the first year of ISKCON, if you read how Prabhupada had innovative ways to engage his disciples and the devotees who were coming for his classes. So this is what even Narad Muni is recommending to Vyasdev. So 17th verse is progress in bhakti is created forever. Okay, this is not showing up. The 17th verse is progress in bhakti is guided forever. No prior purification is required. No misfortune in the path of bhakti. So if you see Ajamil, who was a boy born in a Brahmin family, he was doing his swadharma very nicely. Swadharma very nicely, like doing three times Gayatri, performing worship to the Lord. Everything was doing very nicely, but he was not chanting the names of the Lord. He was not chanting the names of the Lord. Whereas the hippies, they did not have any swadharma. They did not come from a background like Ajamin, but they had full faith in what Srila Prabhupada had taught them. So you may feel that that Ajamil fell down. Actually, even hippies also fell down. Later on, some of them even left Srila Prabhupada after he left this world. But still, they had intense love for what Prabhupada gave them. And wherever they were, they sincerely practiced devotion life. They sincerely practiced devotion life. So that was a seed which Prabhupada left in all of them, which was the seed of Krishna consciousness. And coming to the 19th verse, it mentions that devotees doesn't undergo material existence like us others. So you're the example of Bharat Maharaj is given. You know, the translation says that my dear Vyasa, even though a devotee of the Lord Krishna sometimes fall down somehow or other, he certainly does not undergo material existence like others, because a person who has once relished the taste of the lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstatic again and again. So if you see Bharat Maharaj, we generally say that Bharat Maharaj fell down. You know, he got attracted to a deer, and in the next life he became a deer. But His Holiness Radha Govind Swami Maharaj says that you cannot say he fell down, because in the life of a deer he was still living close to hermitage. You know, what was the ashram saying? Pul, Pulakera Ashram, Pulakshera Ashram. Anyway, he was living close to the sages. He was living close to the hermitage. He had a desire to listen to what the sages were talking. He would eat only dry grass. It is not that when he got the body of the deer, he went back to his palace. That is fall down. You go back to where you were. But in the body of a deer, he was still performing all this. He was more conscious. So it is said that, do you want to become a complacent, you want to get a human life and do complacent bhakti, or you want to get a deer's life and do staunch bhakti? What you would choose? Get a human life and do dhila dhala bhakti, or get a deer's life and do pakka bhakti? What will you choose? Huh? Deer's life? How many people will choose deer's life? हाथ उठाओ. धीरे धीरे बाकी लोग भी हाथ उठाए. पहले दिखा अच्छा कुछ लोग यहाँ पे हाथ उठाए, फिर धीरे धीरे बाकी लोग भी हाथ उठाए. What about others? Complacent life. वाह, ठीक है. So we should not have an attitude of having a slack bhakti in human body, and कि ठीक है चल रहा है धीरे धीरे, थोड़ा थोड़ा गाड़ी चल रहा है प्रभु जी, ज्यादा नहीं. जब हम थोड़े, we should not be like Nal Kuber and Manigrima, lazy. Okay. We should always endeavor that bhakti remains. So we should not be like that. We should have staunch desire to perform bhakti. Like over here it's mentioned. Um, where it's mentioned 19th verse. A devotee of the Lord, due to wrong association, sometimes imitates the fruitive workers. Um, the fruitive workers want to lord it over the material world. Similarly, a neophyte devotee foolishly thinks of accumulating some material power in exchange for devotional service. थोड़ा धन, पावर, फेम, पोजीशन, इकट्ठा कर लेता हूँ. डिवोशनल सर्विस तो आएगा बाद में. There's no hurry. There's no hurry. Purports are very nice actually. You can go deep and read into it. So that's given in one line over here. Devotee doesn't undergo material existence like others, even if there is a fall down. And the 18th verse mentions that even uh, endeavor only to revive eternal relationship with the Lord. That should be the only goal of our, is that we should our revive our relationship with the Supreme Lord. Like the translation to verse number 18 mentions, persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for the purposeful end, which is not obtainable even by wandering in the topmost planet Brahmaloka down to the lowest planet Patal. So even if you go to hellish planet, what will you not get? Bhakti. And even if you go in the heavenly planets, what will you not get? You'll get only in this planet. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in the course of time. Just as in the course of time we obtain miseries, even though we do not desire them. So, those who are actually endeavoring for these things should not. This is the purport that I just read. Translation, sorry. So, persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for the purposeful end, which is not obtained in टॉप से लेके नीचे तक कहीं पे नहीं मिलेगा. That's how it is. If you come over here, mention miseries and mixed happiness are two features. Mixed happiness, not full happiness. Miseries and mixed happiness are two features of material life, and they are obtained in Brahma Loka and other lokas also. They are obtained in the life of demigods and also in the life of dogs and hogs. The miseries and mixed happiness of all living beings are only of different degree and quality, quantity, nahi, quality. But no one is free from miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease. Similarly, everyone has his destined happiness also. No one can get more or less of these things simply by personal endeavors. Even if they are obtained, they can be lost again. One should not therefore waste time with these flimsy things. One should only endeavor to go back to God. That should be the mission of everyone's life. What you understand? तो हम fully nod कर रहे हो आप. Yeah. So we should really not waste time with these flimsy things. दुख आएगा, सुख आएगा. वैसे भी यहाँ पे full happiness नहीं लिखा है, mixed happiness लिखा है. मतलब some सुख will come, but there will be always some pain with it. Then he goes on 21 and 2021. He speaks about more. He tells Yasdev that you know all these things. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of God is himself this cosmos and still is aloof from it. From him only this cosmic manifestation is there. In him it rests, and unto him it enters into annihilation. Your good self knows all this, and I have given only a synopsis. He's just giving a summary of it. For those of us who think that we can do something in life. Mm. The human being may create a small playful Sputnik. You know what a Sputnik is? The human being may create a small playful Sputnik and may throw it into outer space. But that does not mean that he can create a planet like Earth or Moon and float it in the air as the Lord does. Men with a poor fund of knowledge claim to be equal to Lord. They are never equal to Lord. This is never to be. The human being, after attaining complete perfection, may achieve a large percentage of the qualities of the Lord, say up to 78%. But it is never possible to surpass the Lord or to become equal with Him. In a diseased condition, only the foolish being claims to be one with the Lord, thus become misled by illusory energy. The misguided living beings therefore must accept the supremacy of the Lord and agree to render loving service to Him. For this they have been created. For this they have been created. This is the purpose that we are here. Without this, there cannot be any peace or tranquility in the world. Srila Vyasadeva is advised by Sri Narada to expand this idea in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavad Gita, also the same idea is explained. Surrender fully unto the lotus feet of the Lord. That is the only business of a perfect human being. I think so. This purports speak for themselves. Just go to the last purport, last verse. He says that your goodness has perfect vision. He's glorifying Vyasadeva about his position. Yourself, you yourself can know the supreme personality, super soul personality of Godhead because you are present as a plenary portion of the Lord. He's saying what. See, Narada is showing the position of Vyasadeva. Narada himself knows that Vyasadeva is not ordinary. He is the literally incarnation of the Lord. Although you are birthless, today we'll speak about Mother Sita. Mother Sita also doesn't take birth in the womb of a mother. She is born like we all are born in a womb, right? Mother Sita doesn't take birth in the womb. Ayonija. Ayonija is one who doesn't take birth in the womb. Although you are birthless, you have appeared on this earth for the well-being of all people. Please, therefore, describe the transcendental pastime of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, more vividly. Shri Vyasadeva is empowered plenary portion incarnation of the sight of God, and he says down, Shri Vyasadeva mentions your Shri Vyasadeva is not at all dependent on a spiritual master because in essence he is a spiritual master of everyone. You know, क्या था महामुनि कृते. The verse was there, na? Word was there in the Bhagavatam in the beginning. Mahamuni Krite. He is Mahamuni. Uh, amongst the sages, he is the greatest sage. But because he is doing the work of an acharya, he has taught us by his own conduct that one must have a spiritual master, even though he be God himself. Lord Shri Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all incarnations of Godhead accepted a formal spiritual master. Although by their transcendental nature, were cognizant of all knowledge. In order to direct people in general to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, he himself, in the incarnation of Vyasadeva, is delineating the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. So this is more of instructive to us than to understand that why Vyasadeva had to accept a spiritual master. So next section is the life of Narada. Not very unknown to you all, but we'll still go through that. Uh, next time. Basically, each and every verse explains this, that how he was a son of a maid servant in the last millennium, being and during Chaturmasa, when there is rainy season, the sages don't travel to holy places. So they had come to a place where they were staying, and he got a chance to serve them. So he was serving the Brahmanas. He was impartial to the sages, and the sages were blessed him. He took the remnants of the sages after offering them bhoga, offering prasad. So this is how association with uh, you know these great personalities gave him a chance to perform bhakti. His mother left him. Mother left her body at an early age, and then how Narada performs bhakti. All these things are mentioned in the coming few verses. It's a picturestic way of showing it, but yeah, that was a summary. We'll be discussing these things. Mahajans. Any questions up till now? I'd like to speak something on Mother Sita. Hmm? Okay. We read in the last line of the verse. You saw the last line? Hmm? Read it. It's up to us whether we want to become perfect or not. But now, though, I cannot tell you after 3 years that, please go out, you have my blessings. May you get a good job. May you make 2 lakh rupees, 4 lakh rupees a month, and may you excel. If you ask me, this is exactly what is mentioned. This is the best. This is the best case scenario. ये जो यहाँ पे लिखा है वो बेस्ट केस सिनेरियो है. अगर इसके स्टिल इफ यू से ओके प्रभु जी नहीं, अभी भी मुझे कन्विक्शन तो नहीं आ रहा है कि कैसे मैं, मतलब इसके पहले भी लिखा था ना दैट इंडिया हैज फेल्ड इन इट्स ड्यूटी. वो था ना परपट में, इंडिया हैज फेल्ड इन इट्स ड्यूटी टू give the message of Srimad Bhagavatam to the entire world. Again, the same thing is mentioned here. Srila Vyasdev is wherein expand the same idea. Same thing is coming back here. So if we still don't get that conviction that we want to do this, then we can go to a compromised version where we could assist. We could assist in this expansion. We could assist in this movement. And if still that much also we cannot do, then से कई बार प्रभु जी लोग कहते हैं कि वो चुल्लू भर पानी लेके हमें उसमें डूब जाना चाहिए, मतलब that is what we could do. There is no point in going round and round and flattering something which is wrong. If we are not here to flatter someone. So the truth is truth, and that is that we should take up this business very seriously, because this is directly being spoken in Bhagavatam to Indians, and हम तो सब भारतवर्षी है ना, हमारे सबका आधार कार्ड है और पासपोर्ट है, इलेक्शन कार्ड है, और सब हम नेशनलिटी हम सब जगह पे चूज करते हैं इंडियन, और वही इंडियन की बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे. अगर आपकी कोई दूसरी नेशनलिटी हो तो फिर वो भिन्न बात है, अलग बात है. That is the advantage of giving a lecture in India. You can speak directly to Indians. So Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken for us. So we should take a benefit of this. Yes, so this is the message Srila Vyasadeva has given. The misguided living beings therefore must accept the supremacy of the Lord, agree to render loving service to Him. So, as students and as working professionals, we should try our best to render loving service to the Supreme Lord. If we really want peace in the world, and right now we see, and we've been seeing it since last 5 years in front of us since the time COVID started. There's never been peace in the world. Of course, before COVID, it was an illusion, so we could feel that अच्छा हाँ peace है. अभी भी peace नहीं था, but it was an illusion कि हाँ है. बट कोविड का काइट एविडेंट हो गया. डिजीज आया, पैंडमिक हुआ, उसके बाद कुछ वॉर्स हुए, रशिया यूक्रेन, इसराइल हमास, so many wars were there. People are invading, people are fighting. So, but if we really want to do something, not for our own selves, no, and for higher purpose, then we should take up the message of Srimad Bhagavatam very seriously. You see, we have a traveling Sankirtan party, and I'm a part of that group. And daily I see that each member of the traveling Sankirtan party is actually making an attempt to spread Srimad Bhagavatam. Daily they distribute close to 7 to 10 Bhagavatams on the signal. हमें भगवत गीता डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करने में हमारा पसीना निकल जाता है, तेल निकल जाता है. दे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट श्रीमद् भागवतम ऑन द सिग्नल. डेली आता है फोटो. मतलब आप अगर आप में से कोई देखने का इच्छा होगा तो मैं दिखाऊंगा मेरे फोन पे. That daily they post giving Bhagavatam sets on the signal. You know, so that is they're actually living the Bhagavatam. They're actually living the Bhagavatam. They're actually doing what Narada is telling Vyasa. They're actually doing what Srila Prabhupada is giving instructions. So that is living life to the perfection. That is the perfection of life. We have a chance. There are devotees, part of the TSP. They also, I'm sure, 100% sure, they could have done much better outside in the world also. It's not that they had nothing to do, that's why they are there. But they have taken up this courageously and understood that yes, this is my actual dharma, duty. Okay. Okay. Anything else? So this Tuesday is a very auspicious day. After 6th of April comes 6th of May. After a month comes Sita Navami. I was hearing Bhakti Ashra Vaishnav Swami Maharaj a little bit, and he was mentioned that Lord Ram is Maryada Purushottam. So nine, the number nine also signifies Maryada. Anything that you multiply by nine is nine. Anything that you add to nine is also nine. Okay, so Lord Ram's everything is nine. That he is born on Navami. Mother Sita is also born on a Navami, appeared on a Navami. And in Srimad Bhagavatam also Sukdev Goswami speaks in the ninth canto about Lord Ram. So everything is nine, 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 nine. Everything is within Maryada. So just a correlation. So a very auspicious day coming up on this Tuesday is Mother appearance of Mother Sita, and we are very fortunate because in this temple we also have Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. So we have a full-fledged festival right from the Shobha Yatra um, uh, to Abhishek of uh, Sita Ram, and then there is Katha. There is so many things. So it's a full-fledged festival. So we're very fortunate. So Mother Sita is actually a very powerful personality mentioned in the Ramayana. Okay, she is one of the most important characters. In fact, in the Sri Sampradaya, they say that Ramayana is not the life or the story of Lord Ram, but it is the story of Mother Sita. It's called as Rama Ayana. Rama is also the name of Mother Sita. Rama is one of the names of Mother Sita. Rama. I could relate to this because I go to meet someone in Hyderabad, and uh, his wife's name is Rama. Okay, so I was like, how can her name be Rama? Rama is the name. Ram is the name of man. But then when I was reading, I was going through, I understood that Rama is actually the name of Mother Sita. Rama, Ayana, is actually the life of Mother Sita. And if you see all the kandas, there are uh, six kands, and there is an additional kand, seven kands. There are seven kands. Each and every kanda, acharyas in the Sri Sampradaya mentioned, they are all revolving around Mother Sita. Like the Bala Kanda speaks about the marriage of Mother Sita. The Ayodhya Kand speaks about the story of Sita joining Rama in exile. The Aranya Kanda speaks about the kidnapping of Mother Sita. The Kishkinda Kand speaks about searching of Mother Sita. The Sundar Kand speaks about locating of Mother Sita and the discussion between Hanuman and Mother Sita. The Yuddha Kand speaks about the reunion of Mother Sita with Ram. And the Uttara Kand, which is the additional Kanda, speaks about the departure of Mother Sita. That is how they explain that everything is centered to the Sita. Ram is nowhere in the context. So it's it's a very beautiful way of understanding. So yeah, Ramayana means two things. One is like the way Sarvabhauma was mentioning that the iron is also as the home of. आप में से कितने लोगों ने कथा सुना राम कथा? So what was Sarvabhauma was saying? What is the name of Ramayana? Meaning of the word Ramayana is house of yeah, the house of Lord Ram, or the adventure or the travel of Lord Ram, and in one way, other way that we see it as Rama, Ayana is the story of Mother Sita. Okay, story of Mother Sita. So, so we'll try and cover a few things. There are many wonderful lessons that we can learn from the life of Mother Sita. Of course, she is the consort of the Lord. She's expansion of Shrimati Radharani. She is also behaving like a common living entity, guiding us. She also takes up the role of a guru at times, teaching us what we should be doing when we are with the Lord, how we should be dealing with the Lord, and when we are separated away from the Lord, what should be our mood. So, who is the father of Sita? Janak is a post. Okay, Janak is a post. So, it's the name is Shira Dhwaja Janak. The full name of Janak Maharaj, father of Sita, is Shira Dhwaja Janak. Janak is actually a post. So in that dynasty, everybody gets the post of Janak. So Janak Maharaj comes in the dynasty of Ikshwaku. And Ikshwaku, in that dynasty, there was a king by the name of Nimi, King Nimi. And King Nimi was a very powerful king. His guru was Vashishta Muni. And Vashishta Muni. Uh, so once King Nimi had arranged for a Vedic sacrifice, and he had invited Vashishta Muni to be the initiator of that sacrifice. Initiator, मतलब जो उसका आगमन करेगा, मतलब तो. So, but at the same time, Vashishta Muni had also got an invitation from heaven. So he decided to go there to heaven, and King Nimi was waiting, and the Murat was passing by. So he arranged for another somebody else to come and perform the yajna. And when Vashishta Muni came back, uh, he was very angry. How can you perform yajna without me? And he cursed him that you will die immediately. King Nimi also got angry. He's like, how can you leave me and go, your own disciple, and go to heaven just because you got more dakshina? So King Nimi also curses Vashishta. They both die. The guru also dies and the king also dies. The Brahmanas over there are thinking, Arey, there is no king in the kingdom. And at that point of time, the Brahmanas had the strength to revive someone, bring them to life. So they asked Vashishta, would you want to be revived? Vashishta like, yeah, yeah, he agreed. And they revived Vashishta actually. And then they asked King Nimi that we would like to revive you. King Nimi say, no, no, no. Whatever I had to do in my body, this body, I've done. Now I please allow me to proceed towards more towards spiritual life. I don't want to be revived again. So now still the kingdom was without a king. There should be a king. So they took the body of King Nimi and they churned it, churned, and there came out a personality whose name was Mithi Janak. Mithi means Manthan. The one who's born from Janak means Janma. So the one who's born from the Manthan, churning of the body is called as Mithi Janak. So and that's how the name of the kingdom also falls as Mithila. That's how the kingdom gets the name as Mithila because the king's name was Mithi. And so Mithi Janak was born, and after Mithi Janak, in his lineage comes Shiradhwaja Janak, who is the father of Mother Sita. Okay. So the apart from Mithila, the residents of this Mithila Desh also got um, uh, the, the Mithila Desh also got one more name, which is called as Vaidehapur. Vaidehapur. Pur means city, you know, Gorakhpur city, and Vaideha means the one who is Deha. Deha means body. Vaideha means the one who is detached from one's own body. Like King Nimi was actually detached from his body, right? That's why he didn't wanted to revive himself back. He was not attached to his body. So uh, that's how they got the name as Vaidehapur also. So that is why the residents of Mithila Desh also call as Vaidehas or Vaidehis. And that's how one of the names of Mother Sita is also Vaidehi. Okay. So Shiradhwaja Janak was the next in line after Maithi Janak, and everybody who was born in the lineage would have the title of Janak with a unique name ahead. So once Shiradhwaja Janak was performing a sacrifice, and that sacrifice involved with a golden plow plowing the field, golden plow plowing the field, and wherever the plow would get stuck, there the king would have to give profuse charity. So Janak Maharaj was plowing at different parts of the world. It was so the kings would perform these sacrifices for the society, for the welfare of the humanity, not for themselves. जैसे हम कुछ भी करते हैं हमारे लिए करते हैं. But kings would not do like that. So at one place the plow got stuck. It got stuck so hard that it was he as much as he would give charity, तो भी वो निकल नहीं रहा था. It got stuck so hard. So finally they digged out and they found a golden box, nice golden box, and inside the golden box there was this small baby girl, which was actually Mother Sita. So the word Sita comes from Sita, which is the point of the plow. The edge of the plow is called as Sita, and that's how she gets the name as Sita. Now, one may wonder, okay, in the womb of the mother, there is so many things that are there for 9 months that the baby can survive. How can somebody survive in a box? But it is Acharya has mentioned that it was Bhu Devi which came in a personified herself as Mother Sita. That is why she's one more name is uh, Bhusuta. Bhusuta. One of the names of Mother Sita is also Bhusuta. So she had many names like Vaidehi, Sita, Bhusuta, Janaki, and so many other names are there she had. So that's how she was born. That is the childhood of Mother Sita, and she grows up. There are not many. You know why the Balakanda is called as Balakanda? There are hardly, how many of you have read Ramayana? कौन सा वाला? नहीं, कौन सा वाला बुक पढ़ा? हाँ, वेद वाला, अच्छा, भक्ति का स्वामी महाराज। हाउ मेनी अदर, व्हाई इज बालकांड कॉल्ड एज बालकांड? उसमें तो कुछ बाल या लीला बहुत हार्डली कुछ है ना, इवन और राम एंड नॉट, मतलब मदर सीता की बाल या लीला बहुत कम है, क्यों बालकांड कहते हैं? कोई है यूपी बिहार से? यहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग हैं। कल ही मैंने सुना, तो मैं भी, मेरा भी फ्रेश है। Balakand is called as Balakand because when a child is in the presence of his father or mother, feels very very comfortable, you know, feels protected. Similarly, Vashishth Muni, when he took Ram and Lakshman to the forest to kill the demons, Vashishth Muni was in his very, advanced age, but he was feeling very very protected because Lord Ram was with him. That is why it is called as Balakand. For him, he became like a child. For him, he became like a child because he was being protected by the Supreme Lord. It's called as Balakand. Okay, so yeah, so they're not, childhood pastimes are there, and we know that fast forwarding ahead, that how we will come to the Vivah of Mother Sita and Lord Ram, or the Swayamvara. Actually, even Ram Prabhu was mentioning yesterday that there is no, Ramayana doesn't mention like any kind of this Swayamvara. There was no like Swayamvara at that point in time. It was only by one kings would come and they would try to lift the Dhanush. You know, Vishwakarma had made two Dhanush. One was Shiv Dhanush and other was Vishnu Dhanush. And the Shiv Dhanush was very very heavy. So there were different kings who would come and try and pick up. We know the story. They try and come and pick up the Dhanush and they become unsuccessful. And so this, how does the Shiv Dhanush come to Shiradhwaja Janak or Janak Maharaj? It come actually from Shiva. It is given to demigods, and from demigods it is given to Devabrata, King Devabrata, who comes in the lineage of Janak Maharaj, and that's how Janak Maharaj has it in his assembly, the Shiv Dhanush. So uh, many kings would come and try, and they would be unsuccessful. They cannot even move an inch of. Forget it. It is said that Shiv Dhanush was kept in a cart. That cart was drawn by 500 bulls, and 5,000 men would have to push it from behind. When the 500 bulls would pull, 5,000 men would push it from behind. Then the Shiv Dhanush would move and be brought to the assembly to be picked up. So that Shiv Dhanush was not moved by anyone. And the kings, many princesses all over the world, they tried, but they were unsuccessful. Some of them, they even, uh, you know, made a union that this Janak has called us over here to get us insulted by keeping this such a condition. Who can pick up Shiv Dhanush? Nobody can pick up. But he doesn't want us to get married to his daughter, and he has just kept this foolish condition, and he wants to insult us. And they protest against it. Like, you should remove such a condition and allow your uh, daughter to choose a husband. But the secret was only known to Janak. Now, this story is not there in the Ramayana, but it is told often that in the childhood, when Mother Sita was playing with the ball and the ball went under the Shiv Dhanush, and the guard saw that she came there, and with the left hand she picked up the Dhanush and took out the ball, and she went and played again. During this, Janak Maharaj thought that at least my daughter should get married to someone who can protect her, or at least be capable to. Otherwise, she would embrace someone and just imagine. Actually, this is true. Uh, Mother Sita could have easily killed Ravana, It was not so difficult. But she shows that to surrender, one has to give up one's Shakti. One has to give up one's own skill set. If one thinks, oh, I can do this very nicely, then one cannot surrender. Like Draupadi had to give up her Lajja to surrender. Similarly, Mother Sita had to give up her Shakti to surrender. That's very important that whenever we surrender, whenever there is a mood of surrender, that mood of surrender should be away from our skills and our specialities. We have to be a bonded man to be surrendered. You have to be a bonded man. If we come with our skills, then there is no surrender because we are dependent more on our. There is no समर्पण. नेम से एक समर्पण हो सकता है फिर जी मैं तो हुई ना मैं तो फुल टाइम हुई मतलब मैं सेवा तो दे ही रहा हूँ ना पर सेवा ये सोच के दे रहे हो कि हाँ मेरे में कुछ है मैं कुछ करूँगा जो बाकी किसी में अन्य भक्तों में नहीं है मैं एक ही हूँ लौता हीरा डायमंड so that's how it is it's a very beautiful thing so coming back uh, actually Ravanasur also comes to pick up the dhanush try. He hears the beauty of Mother Sita and he also comes to try to pick up the Dhanush. And Ravanasur was very, very powerful, you know. He is Jai, Vijay, you know, devotee of the Lord. He's not an ordinary personality. He would step on the Navagrahas and go and sit on his throne daily. Navagrahas, जो 9 ग्रहस होते हैं जो हमारा तैश नैश कर देते हैं ना दुनिया कभी कभार उसके ऊपर सर रख के he would keep foot on them and go and sit. Indra would chop vegetables in his kitchen, you know. So that was Ravana. So Ravana lifted Kailash also, you know. So he came, he said that he told Janak Maharaj, पहले लड़की दिखाओ. Like नहीं नहीं नहीं, पहले शक्ति दिखाओ, फिर and he had heard a lot about the beauty of Mother Sita. So he was tempted, okay, let me pick up the bow. And he picks up the bow. And the condition was to string the thread, you know. So as soon as he picks up, he didn't expect it to be so heavy. So he falls down and the bow falls on him and he gets injured a little bit. Janak calls for medical help, gets him revived and then sends him back. But Ravanasur also comes to try hearing so many things. So Janak was very, very upset, it's like so many people have tried and there's nobody who can pick up the bow and that means nobody is really capable to get married to my daughter. And all these things are being discussed in the ashram of Vashishta Muni. Vashishta Muni is speaking to Rama and Lakshmana and they decide to come to Mithila Desh and there when when Lord Ram comes in front of Janak Maharaj immediately gets a hope that if somebody can lift up the bow, it can be Ram. And but he tells Vashishta, Ram, if Ram picks up the bow, then I will give my daughter hand. But he uses the word if. That why? Because he had seen so many rejection. He had seen so many failures. Whenever we see so many failures in our life, our hope also diminishes. Our faith in God, है क्या मतलब? So that is why Janak also, after seeing so many failures, he was like, if knowing that it is the supreme personality of Godhead, Rama himself can very well pick up the bow, but he uses the word if Ram can pick up, then what to say? So then we know that Lord Ram picks up the bow, and Lord Ram was only told to pick up the bow and tie the string, not to break the bow. It was not the condition. But as soon as Lord Ram picks up the bow and he tries to tie the string, we know that the bow breaks from center, from where he is holding. So Acharya has mentioned that actually the breaking of the bow has many significance. One of the significance that Acharya has mentioned is that the one end of the bow is birth and the other end of the bow is death. And in between from where it breaks is the ego, false ego. So in the life, so the Shiva Dhanush gives us an analogy that They are in this cycle between birth and death. We are all hanging around because of our false ego, and Lord Ram breaks that. One more lighter note, pay it is mentioned that Lord Ram also breaks the bow because the next one in line to get married was Lakshman. So that Lakshman doesn't have to go through such a condition of picking up the bow. He breaks the bow only. There's no other bow. बोलेगा भाई लक्ष्मण तू भी उठा. So there's no other condition like that, so he breaks the bow only. So yeah, of course, so then what happens is that okay, fine, he breaks the bow, and Janak Maharaj is very very happy. He's super happy, he's jubilant, and he's very happy. He jumps that up. So finally somebody was able to break the bow, and but when he goes to Rama that and tells Vasishtha that now I will give my daughter to Ram. Ram says, I cannot get married to Sita unless I get permission from my father. Janak gets a big shock. What is this? One person out of so many. There were wars fought to get married to Mother Sita. Wars. Thousands of people died. And here is one person who's qualified. He picked up the bow and now he's saying he won't get married. And there is no other bow also. Bow bhi tood gaya. The condition is also not there anymore. So he was broken. He was like, my God, abhi kya hoga? But there was one person who was very, very happy. Who was that? Huh? Mother Sita. Mother Sita was very happy. Why? Because she she saw three things in Ram which she had kept as her qualification. She saw three things. The first thing is that Lord Ram was a hero. शक्ति था ना उठाया है किसी ने उठाया नहीं you always a woman will always work until want to get married to her somebody who is a hero होना चाहिए heroic होना चाहिए so to protect her so he was hero and he had already killed so many demons Taraka, Marich and Aliya and so many other demons were killed before he came here. The second thing was that she saw that very sweetly he spoke to Janak Maharaj, very sweetly. So Lord Ram had the ability to speak the right things at the right time in the right way. Right things at the right time in the right way. That was the ability of Lord Ram. And she saw that. See, the psychology of a man and a woman is very different. The way they behave is also very, very different. The way they think is also very, very different. So if a man goes to any problem, generally a man would go silent. He'll think over it. At office, you all are not experienced, but at office sometimes you have a bad experience with your boss and you come back, sit in one corner and think. The wife will immediately realize kuch gadbad hai, silent hai. And if the wife comes and asks, what happened? Can I help you? His ego will further get crushed. She thinks that I cannot solve my problem, so he'll further go silent. But whereas women, they like to express their problems or issues by speaking out. So here she saw somebody who could speak, but in the right way at the right time. So she was very happy that here was somebody who could speak up very meticulously. And the third thing was that Lord Ram was absolutely self-controlled, ability to control one's senses. One for whom the entire world was fighting. Thousands of people had died for Mother Sita, to get married to her. Here, after getting her also, he was absolutely self-controlled. He said that I'll get married only if my father gives me the permission. So Mother Sita was absolutely very, very happy that I am getting married to the right man. She was very happy. So she was, and then we know that okay, Janak was depressed. So Vasisht goes to Janak and he says, "Arey, don't get upset." He didn't say that he will not get married. He said he will take father's permission and get married. So you send invitation to his father in Ayodhya and call him. So father, we know that okay, Dashrath Maharaj agrees. Dashrath Maharaj comes with a big entourage. You know, in Kamba Ramayana, it is mentioned that uh, there was it's very beautifully mentioned about the procession of regarding the procession of who all came for the marriage ceremony of who all came for the Vivah Samskar of Sita and Ram. It is mentioned that thousands and thousands of people came from all over the world. Thousands of people came from Ayodhya. Dashrath Maharaj said, whoever wishes to come, everyone can come for the. हम तो कैसे selective list देते हैं ना हमारा जितना budget होता है उसके हिसाब से. This is Dashrath Maharaj gave invitation to everyone. And it was mentioned the procession was such that Dashrath Maharaj went first. He was so excited that he reached first Mithila. And the description says that after the when the first person reached Mithila, the last person to come in the procession was still Ayodhya. इतने सारे लोग आए थे. ठीक है, मिथिला कहाँ आया? नेपाल में. अयोध्या कहाँ आया? यूपी में. प्रेजेंट डे. उतना डिस्टेंस था. तो इतने लोग आए थे कि जब वो पहला आदमी वहां पहुंच गया तो लास्ट पर्सन स्टिल वाज इन अयोध्या. So it was a big celebration. Citizens of Ayodhya met, citizens of Mithila met. Citizens of Ayodhya, they when they looked at Mother Sita, they thought, uh, they said that Mother Sita should have thousand eyes to look at the beauty of Ram. Whereas Mithilavasis said, oh no 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 no, Rama should have thousand eyes to see the beauty of Mother Sita. She's somebody who has never seen the sun and the moon. She's never come out of the palace in a palace, except for coming out of a palanquin. Her feet has never touched Bhumi Devi. She's always walked on a golden chappals or footwear. And in fact, uh, Ram's thousand eyes are also less. The thousand eyes should keep getting, keep increasing because keep adding on to it because Mother Sita's beauty keeps increasing day by day. Even Sarvabhauma Prabhu was mentioning in the Katha that Mother Kaushalya was concerned that that the wife of Ram should be as beautiful as Lord Ram. 19-20 भी नहीं होना चाहिए, 20-21 चलेगा, 20-20 चलेगा, but 19-20 भी नहीं होना चाहिए. She was so concerned because Ram was so beautiful, so beautiful. Ram was so beautiful that Ram, till the time he saw Sita, he never had seen anybody else who was more beautiful. It was so beautiful. That's why when he saw Sita, Ram was wonderstruck. He was wonderstruck. No? So, but when Mother Kaushalya saw Sita, she was satisfied. Yes, this is somebody in competition, or this is somebody in level of that वो 19-20 वाला factor निकल गया. It was at least 20-21. Well, Sita was much more beautiful than Lord Ram also. So that was the beauty of Mother Sita. So then Janak Maharaj goes and now gives advice to his son-in-law, father-in-law giving advice to son-in-law, and he tells him about like there is a ceremony which is called as Pani Grahan ceremony, which is like keeping the hand of the uh, groom in the hand of the bride. वैसा होता है ना, it's like हाथ रखते हैं. Generally, the male's hand is on top of the female's hand, but in case of Sita and Ram, it was opposite. The Sita's hand was on top of Rama's hand. The significance of male's hand on top of the female's hand is that now she's in your care, like that. But over here, it was now you are under her care. Janak Maharaj was saying now you are under the care of Mother Sita, because Janak Maharaj knew the strength of the beauty of Mother Sita. As I told you, he was wonderstruck. He was telling Yama Sita, here is your Sita. Why is he saying here is your Sita? Because Sita is standing there. But because everywhere Rama was able to see Sita. So गलती से किसी और को गालन ना डाल दे कि here is your Sita. They like don't lose focus. Garland यहाँ डालना, here is your Sita. You hope you don't put it somewhere else. So he was so enamored by the beauty of Mother Sita. And also there were many other things that she'll always be by your side, and she'll always succumb to whatever weaknesses that you have, and he uses some specific words about Mother Sita. We always know that Lord Ram has taken this vow of Ekapatni Vrata, but that why does he take that vow? Because none of his previous ancestors had this kind of a thing, because even Dashrath Maharaj had more than one wife and others as well. But Lord Ram took that vow of Ekapatni Vrata because Janak Maharaj was speaking to Ram and he uses some words. One of the words that he says, as I mentioned to you, is Ayonija. Ayonija is the one that who is not born of the womb of a mother. So, like, you don't think that your birth is special. Even Mother Sita's birth is special. It's not just you who are born with that thing. And I don't think that you are the only one who is very beautiful, but over here, Mother Sita is also there who is as beautiful as you. In fact, she is more beautiful. And then he also says that she'll also be Dharmacharini Tava. That means she will follow you when you are right and she'll correct you when you are wrong. She'll follow you when you are right and she'll correct you when you are wrong. And there were a few instances in their lifetime where Mother Sita also corrected Lord Ram. And Sita will always be like your shadow. Shadow is generating from the feet of a person. So she'll always be on your under your lotus feet. And when you're behind, when the sun is behind, the shadow is in the front, and when the sun is ahead, the shadow is behind. So whenever there is prosperity, she will walk behind you like a shadow. I mean, whenever there is difficulty, she'll walk ahead of you, and she'll face those difficulties. So all these things, when he heard these descriptions, immediately Ram takes this vow of Ekapratnimata, that I will never get married to anyone else except her. And hearing this vow, all the young girls of Ayodhya become very happy of the because of the example that Lord Ram was setting up. The example that Lord Ram was setting up. So there are beautiful pastimes. There was a time when Sita had to garland Lord Ram. Of course, Lord Ram was tall, and Mother Sita was not so tall. She could not reach Rama to garland him. And Rama was also waiting because he had never bent in front of anyone. So, how can he bend? So, Lakshman comes to the rescue. Lakshman immediately comes and touches the feet of Lord Ram. And then Lord Ram bends down to pick him up. And that's when Mother Sita garlands Lord Ram. So, that's the beautiful Vivaha Samskar of Sita Ram. So Lakshman represents the Guru. The role of the Guru is to reunite Sita and Ram. The role of the Guru is to unite Lord with the living entity. Sita at one point of time represents the concept of the Lord and also represents as a common living entity. So the Lakshman plays the role of a Guru. Uh, so she plays different roles, as I mentioned. She is playing different roles in her connection. So when Srila Prabhupada was asked by Yashomati Nandan Prabhu that why don't you write commentary on the Ramayana, Srila Prabhupada says that, uh, you know, very jokingly he says, of course Srila Prabhupada wanted to write the Ramayana commentary, but he says that what is there in the Ramayana, it is very clear that even if the Lord decides to get married, he can fall in trouble. Even if the Lord decides to get married, he can fall in. That's the conclusion. So very jokingly Srila Prabhupada says that. But yeah. So there's a very beautiful story uh, that I will conclude with, is when Rama is banished to the forest. We all know that the two boons that Kaikai asks from Dashrath, and then Ram has to be banished to the forest for 14 years. 14 years. Kaikai doesn't use the word 14. She's all the time she's saying either 9 plus 5, 10 plus 4, 12 plus 2, like that. Why? Because there was a rule in the kingdom of Dashrath Maharaj that if somebody is away from the kingdom for 14 years, that person can never gain rights on the kingdom. She never used the word 14. She was very careful. So, coming back, so fast forwarding the story, this is a beautiful story where it shows how there is strong love and connection between Sita and Ram, which is not existing in a common relationship. So just when the Lord was preparing for coronation, tomorrow tomorrow's coronation, tonight he's preparing for coronation. Both Mother Sita and Lord Ram are preparing, and Sumantra comes to call Rama to the chambers of Kaikai. So Lord Ram, being a supreme personality of Godhead, knows everything. And as soon as Sumantra comes and tells him that you've been called, he tells Ram turns to Sita and says, "Definitely, our father and mother has thought something good for us." So indirectly, he's telling that whatever may be the instruction, it is for the good for us. And Sita and Ram would just talk by eye contact. They would hardly exchange words also, because they would understand each other's heart. Nowadays we have all kinds of communication, but two people cannot understand each other because the hearts don't match. There's so much communication, WhatsApp communication, this communication, दुनिया भर का communication लगाते हैं, but दो लोग समझ नहीं पाते एक दूसरे को, क्यों? There is no. So Rama starts to walk towards outside of his room, and before he's walking outside of the room, he stops at the doorway and he turns back, and he has a garland in his neck, flower garland. He puts that flower garland on Mother Sita, indicating that till now I'm going as a king, but I will come back as a beggar. So till as a king, I can offer you gold necklaces, palace, all the jewelry. But as a beggar, when I come back, I can only offer you a flower garland. So hope you will be fine with it. And Mother Sita responds by making an imaginary garland around his neck, saying that yes, as long as you are there, I am fine with anything. This is an indication that Rama is giving that we may have to go, leave this palace and go. So be ready for it. So then he goes and he comes back. You know what happens? The two boons. Uh, uh, it is a management lesson that people say that when Ram left the chambers of, or when he heard that he has to be banished for 14 years, he had a big smile on his face. Big smile on his face. Sometimes when our boss would say something which is not very pleasing to us, if we have a big smile on our face, it is like, Ram coming out of those chambers, because we are not succumbing to situation. Actually, yesterday very beautifully, Raman was mentioning that before reading the Bhagavad Gita, one should also read the Ramayana, because whatever Krishna speaks in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Ram has led it in his life. So, Matra Spashastu Kaunteya Situashanastu Kadukadaha. So, the distress and the happiness came, twice distress and twice happiness came in the life of Lord Ram, and he dealt with it with Titikshva, Tam Titikshva Bharata, with full tolerance. Once when he was told to go to the forest with Vashishta, another time when he was told to go to the forest for 14 years. But both the times he tolerated. There was no change on his expression. Happiness came when he first time saw Mother Sita, and second time when he again became the king of Ayodhya after 14 years. So when he became the king of Ayodhya, it is not that he partied, drunk, and that. It didn't. Instead, he fasted. He fasted. He performed fast for 24 hours before taking up being the king. He told Mother Sita that now we are a king and a queen first, and then a husband and a wife. So this was Rama. That in both the situations, खुशी में भी एकदम ऐसे crazy नहीं हो गया, ओ क्या, he was titikshva, he was tolerant, दोनों को मातृ स्पर्शस्तु को शीतोष्ण सुख दुख, both the situations में we should be titikshva. We generally become overwhelmed ना, जब कुछ खुशी आती है तो हम पागल हो जाते हैं, और दुख आता है तो भी हम पागल हो जाते हैं. But here he is showing. So when he comes back, his head is down, uh, and Mother Sita understands there is no charmer, there is no chhatri on top of Lord Ram. He understands. Mother Sita says something is wrong, and he starts to speak that you please take care of the parents, please take care of the mother and the father, accept Bharata as the king, take care of Lakshman. So Sita is not able to understand. Just now, some time ago, he was telling me that we will go to the forest, and I will live with him with whatever flowers garland that he gives me, and now he's telling me to stay here. So this is the first time when Sita starts to argue with Ram, and she gives different arguments that I will come with you. The duty of the the duty of the wife is to be with the husband, and that's her only dharma. But Lord Ram says, see, you have no idea of the forest. You have never seen a forest in your life. You've never gone out of the palatial comforts. You know, in the night when you will sleep, and say a lion or tiger will roar, next day you will come back to the palace. It's not so easy. Forest life is not so easy. Uh, so Mother Sita says, I don't know about you, but in my childhood there was an astrologer who had come and had told my father that she has she's supposed to live in forest twice. There are two times she's supposed to visit the forest. So I don't know about you, but hearing that, I had always kept my bags packed when I had to go to the forest. So I am ready to go. Rama still gives her all kinds of negative or suggestions about the forest, that it is not ideal for you. And finally, Mother Sita speaks something which is very, very, very hurting Lord Ram, very insensitive. Generally, her words are very, very sensitive. But here she speaks something that is very, very insensitive. She says, I know why you don't want to take me. You don't want to take me you are because you don't want to take the responsibility of protecting me. My father Janak, if he would have seen you like this, he would have thought that I have got my daughter married to someone to I've got my daughter married to someone who is having a female's body but is dressed like a man. She said this, and this is something that Rama had never heard. You know, she indirectly called Rama that uh, like a eunuch. She indirectly called Rama, and Rama was broken. And Sita also knew that this I have said something that he will never forget. But if I don't say this, then I will lose Rama for 14 years. And because of this, if he takes me with him, I have 14 years to undo what I have said. I have 14 years to undo what I have said. So sometimes one has to be insensitive for a greater good, for a greater cause. And that's what Mother Sita did. So Mother Lord Ram said, okay, you come with me. And that's how Mother Sita goes to the forest with Rama. And as we know, that in the they leave from the palace, go a little ahead, just in the outskirts of Ayodhya. And Mother said, has the forest come? Have you entered the forest? Ram said, no, no, Baba, this is just the outskirts of Ayodhya. Again, they go a little ahead. It's like, has the forest come? No, no, this is not forest. So, because she had no idea what forest is, what forest looks like. Uh, and Ram would walk ahead, Mother Sita would walk in between, and Lakshman would walk behind. So, it's known that uh, if you're walking bare feet, and if you step in the feet of the person who's walking ahead of you, your path is much more simpler, because the person walking ahead has already got poked with the thorn or the pebble or the stone. But Sita would never put step in the footprints of Rama. She would always keep it on her left hand side, because that was the devotion of Sita towards Rama, towards her heart. And Lakshman, walking behind, would never put foot in the feet, put, put his step in the feet of Sita and Ram. He would always keep it also on his left hand side. So now there are many wonderful stories, and this, especially this incident where Mother Sita insults Rama, she gets a chance to undo that after 13 years. After 13 years in the forest, and that is because of Surpanakha. Surpanakha. So when Surpanakha comes, Rama doesn't kill her. He chops off the ears and Lakshman chops off the nose, and Surpanakha runs away. You know. And Surpanakha then calls Karan Dushan along with the army of demons, which are 14,000. Kitne? 14,000 number. So when they attack with 14, in this 13 years, they never had a fierce battle, war. So after 13 years, even Lakshman got a chance to fight. So Lakshman was all ready. Ram is saying nothing doing. You take Sita and go inside the cave, wait there. Lakshman like, come on. In last 14 years, 13 years, we never got a chance. And now comes the time, 14,000 demons. Sita can be her by herself also. Allow me to be her. Rama gives just a stern look and he says, "ये घर का मामला है." This is an inside thing. You go. And Lakshman understands. Lakshman, that is the last life as a younger brother, no? He takes, बहुत हो गया. ये सुनना पड़ता है. Younger होता है तो you have to always listen. छोटा है. So he goes. And Valmiki Ramayana mentions that Lord Ram shoots arrow at the speed of the mind. And he kills all the 14,000 demons in 1 hour. Kills all of them in 1 hour. He shoots arrow at the speed of the mind. The bow of Ram had bell, and that bell would ring when specific numbers of demons would be killed. But that bell was continuously ringing for 1 hour. That is the pace at which Ram killed all the demons. So after killing all the demons, Mother Sita and Lakshman, they come out of the cave and they see Ram is standing, silent, body covered with blood, dust, bow on one hand, and Mother Sita now realizes this is a time for me to undo what I had said 13 years back. Ram has not forgotten that, and even I have not forgotten that. So she said, my dear Lord, had my father Janak Maharaj would have been here, he would have got all his daughters married to you, looking at your valor, looking at your courage. And Lord Ram doesn't say anything, he just smiles. And then Sita embraces Lord Ram. So these are very wonderful stories. These are like wonderful stories of Sita and Ram. So yeah, this Tuesday is Ram Navami. There's so many stories. There is a swimming competition that happens between Rama and Sita in Godavari. And there is a she takes up many roles, as I said. She doesn't like Ram carrying a bow. When she tells Raman, "Why are you carrying a bow? We are in the jungle performing the life of an ascetic. Why are you carrying the bow? Because if you have a bow, then you'll always be intent to do something wrong." And she gives an example that how Indra was once envious of a sage who was very, very powerful. So to make that sage fall down, Indra came to meet that sage and gave him a very powerful sword. And he said, "I have to just use the washroom. I've got a nature's call. Can you please keep this sword?" And while Indra goes away, never intending to come back, the sage tries the sword on a wood and it cuts hard. You think, wow, this is amazing. Then he goes out and he starts chopping different things. Slowly, gradually, he thinks that, oh, there is immense power. And finally, because of doing his actions, the sage eventually becomes a dacoit. So Sita is giving this story to Rama that by keeping a bow with you, even if you don't want to kill, you will end up killing. Rama says that I have taken the vow to go to the forest and live in the forest. I have not taken the vow to become an ascetic. I have not taken a vow to give up my Kshatriya dharma. I have not taken a vow to not protect my devotees. I have not taken a vow to not protect the sages, which I will be doing. So I will kill all those people who will create hassle for my devotees, for the sages. And that is the dharma of a Kshatriya, irrespective of The dress that I'm wearing, Dharma of Kshatriya doesn't depend upon the dress that I wear or you wear. The Dharma of Kshatriya is to protect the Praja, and I will do that. And that's when she realizes that yes, Lord Ram is correct in what he's saying. So these are a few wonderful stories. Even if you see when she was in Ashok Vatika in the abode of Lanka, sorry, in the abode of Ravan, there was a tree which had a flower, and that flower had a center hole which was like a bow, and so she had kept two of those flowers, one on this side and one on this side, with the mood that Ram and Lakshman are both on my sides, and they have been protected. So these are different moods of Mother Sita. Normal living, she takes the mood of a consort of the Lord as a normal living entity, as a guru. She teaches us how we should deal with the Lord when we are with the Lord, and how we should deal with the Lord in the separation of the Lord. When she was away from Rama, she was intensely praying to Rama. She was chanting the names of Lord Ram. For 10 months, she was away from Ram until Hanuman comes and gives her the ring. Hanuman is like the spiritual master who gives us the holy name to go back home, to go back to the Supreme Lord. Similarly, Hanuman gave the ring, indicating that Lord Ram will come soon. Similarly, the spiritual master also comes to give us hope that if we chant the holy name of the Lord will come soon. Uh, and Mother Sita went to Lanka. Why? Because she was attracted by the golden deer. Similarly, we also come to this material world, which is like Lanka, because we get attracted to the glittering illusion of this material world, which takes us away from Ram. So these are some lessons that we can take from the character of Mother Sita. Hare Krishna. So this Tuesday is Sita Navami. Please come, attend, wonderful festival, and be a part of it. I'll stop here. And the day after that, 7th onwards, is Narasimha Katha by His Grace Ram Rup Prabhu. He's going to speak some wonderful. He's going to speak. Yesterday, he was mentioning he was going to speak in detail about how Prahlad Maharaj is harassed. There's not much description in the Bhagavatam. He's going to speak from Vishnu Puran also how Prahlad Maharaj is harassed by Hiranyakashipu and his associates in detail. So you could attend the Ram Katha from 7th onwards till 11th. And 11th next Sunday is Narsimha Chaturdashi, a very auspicious day. I'm not sure if we will have a class or not, but there'll definitely be Narsimha Katha. There'll be drama in the auditorium. Please come and be a part of the festival. Festival starts in the morning at 4:30 till the evening. So please be a part of the festival. वैसे भी fasting till dusk है, तो आप प्रसाद यहीं पे लीजिएगा. Be a part of the festival. It's going to be Shobha Yadra, Yagya, Abhishek, drama, so many things. So be a part of this wonderful festival. And 28th of June is Rath Yatra in Bhiwandi. So we invite you all to come for the Rath Yatra at Bhiwandi. We'll have many services. It's a Saturday, so you have time. Please mark that day and please do come for Rath Yatra festival on 28th June in Bhiwandi. This is going to be the first Rath Yatra of ISKCON Bhiwandi. So please be there and make it a success. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sita Navami Mahamahotsav ki jai. Hare Krishna. Yes. Like, what was the age of Mother Sita when she was getting married? Not young, they were all very young always. But no, there's no specific mention of the age. I didn't read in the Ramayana that there's a mention of an age. Who? 15 years. 15 years. But they are Nitya concerts, so it is like the whatever would be the age of Shrimati Radharani, that would be the age of her expansions as well. They never cross over, they don't become old. So that's the ideal age. they would remain at that age. Mayapur, yeah, there's Mayapur Yatra. We have tickets. So we have Mayapur Yatra from 8th June to 16th June. 8 days, 7 8 days of Mayapur Yatra. Most welcome to the most merciful place in the world, that is the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please come for this wonderful yatra. All details can be given by Gaurav Prabhu, Saurav Prabhu. Please register yourself as earliest as possible because it's a long trip and we have to plan. So it's please come for this wonderful yatra.